Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am doing a recommendations video. Specifically, I'm doing a if you like this, then you will probably like this video, which I'm calling an if-then video because that's just much easier to say than a whole string of if you like this, then you like this. That said, let's get started. So the first book has sort of a string of books behind it, and the first book is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. If you like this book, which is about a female assassin, Selena, who is taken from the salt mines as a slave and thrown into a competition for the king. If she wins, she gets her freedom to be an assassin for the king for a while, and if she doesn't, well, she's dead. If you like this, you might like Graceling by Kristen Cashore, which is about a female assassin who works for her king, the uncle, in the Seven Kingdoms world that they live in. She decides that she doesn't quite like the way her uncle's runs things and completely changes her MO. In the process of doing so, she finds a prince who is looking for his grandfather, and they have to find out who kidnapped his grandfather and why. Also, you might like Nevernight by J. Kristoff, which I just recently read and found myself loving. This is also about a female assassin who is trying to get revenge on the men who killed her family. There's so much more to it than that, but that is the basic premise, and I went in virtually blind and loved it, so I think you should too. This one also has a lot of footnotes, which, if you don't like reading footnotes, don't read this, but they add so much to the story. Which is important because if you like Nevernight and the footnote idea, then you might like the Bartimaeus trilogy by Jonathan Stroud. This is the third book because it's the only one I have up here in North Dakota. The other two are back in Colorado, but this follows a young wizard, I want to say sometime in the 19th century, and he is trying to get all the power he can. He enslaves a djinn, which is this nice creature thingy, and you follow him through this entire trilogy. There are also footnotes in this because it's told from the point of view of the djinn, and the djinn has been alive for millennia, and so in every footnote he is making some sarcastic comment about how he was there and he's the one who got Cleopatra into Caesar in the rug, that kind of thing. It's hilarious and is very much so in the vein of Nevernight. The last one for this is Liberty by Kimberly Iverson. This is a book about a young Celtic woman in ancient Britain who is taken captive by the Romans and forced to work, or to fight rather, as a gladiator in Rome. There's definitely some romance in this, but it's well done. It's sort of a slow burn romance, and I just loved this book. It is historical fiction, obviously about a gladiator. It's set in ancient Rome, so how could you not like gladiators in ancient Rome with romance? The next book is Uprooted, which I also just finished, by Naomi Novik. This book is a fairy tale retelling. To be honest though, I don't know which fairy tale retelling. A young girl is taken by the dragon, who was the valley's wizard, up to the tower. Every 10 years he takes a girl up to the tower, and then the girls leave the valley more or less never to be seen again, but they are alive. There is a wood which is sentient and vicious, apparently, and it's the story of her and the wizard trying to stop the wood. If you like fairy tale retellings, specifically this, you might like One Good Night or Fortune's Fool by Mercedes Lackey. These are both fairy tale retellings. Since I didn't know what specific retelling, or fairy tale rather, Uprooted was playing on, these two sounded the most similar. Mercedes Lackey has an entire series, I think it's about 6 books at this point, that are fairy tale retellings, and boy does she play around with them. She combines Snow White and Sleeping Beauty at one point. It's great. Fortune's Fool is about a young girl who gets kidnapped. She is the daughter of the Sea King, and she has to, figure out how to escape. One Good Night is the story of a princess who gets picked by a dragon who, eats girls, and she doesn't really want to be picked, but suddenly she is, so she has to find a champion. She finds one, There's a couple of catches to this, which I cannot say because spoilers, but they're both really good books, and as I've said before, anything by Mercedes Lackey is fantastic. Next up is the Magnus Chase trilogy by Rick Riordan. This is about Magnus Chase, who is the son of a Norse god. He has to stop the end of the world, because what else do you do? If you like Magnus Chase, like The Tiger's Curse by Colleen Houck. This is a story about two cursed tigers and the girl who helps turn them back. This girl finds a tiger in the circus, and there's something special about this tiger, and they form a connection, and eventually she learns, and obviously helps, the tigers break the curse. There are several problematic elements in this, but even acknowledging those, I still really enjoyed this series, which has a lot to do with Indian mythology. And the last book is Long May She Reign by Rhiannon Thomas. This book is about a girl who was 23rd in line for the throne. Suddenly the first 22 people are killed. So, what's our main character's name? So Freya suddenly becomes queen. She doesn't want to be queen, she's much happier in her laboratory, fiddling around with potions and powders, liquids, etc. But now she has to be queen and figure out who and why killed everybody in line for the throne, and why she herself wasn't killed. It's sort of a murder mystery just set in a fantasy setting with royals, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you like that, you might like Relics of the Dead by Ariana Franklin. This one is set in the 12th century, and it's this woman who is a doctor but travels around with an Arab man, because women doctors in the 12th century, don't be ridiculous. So they have a whole little fraud worked out basically, where he pretends to be the doctor and doesn't speak English, so she translates for him, even though it's technically her doing it all. At any rate, the king hires this woman to find out if these two skeletons that they found at Glastonbury are the skeletons of Arthur and Guinevere. If they are, it means that the Welsh will not rebel because Arthur and Gwen are actually dead. If they are not, however, it means that Arthur and Gwen can still come back and break Wales free from English rule. This is a murder mystery, and it was fantastic. Historical fiction, royals, murder mystery, amazing. But if historical fiction is not quite your jam, then I would also recommend The Book Jumper by Mechtilde Glaser. This is not a murder mystery, but it is a mystery. This girl has the ability to jump into books. She only recently discovers this when she and her mom travel from Germany to Scotland, which is where her mom is originally from. Jumping into books presents many hazards for this girl, and she has to figure out why she can jump into them, why several books seem to be disappearing, and why she can do things that other people her age who can also jump into books can't. There's a lot going on in this book, and the translation is a little rough, but it's well worth the read. It's great. Those are all of the if-then recommendations I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up down below, hit that subscribe button. I will leave my Goodreads and Twitter linked in the down bar if you want to check those out. But until my next video, bye.